Hey guys, Mrs. Stans here. So lesson 7, write down the objective. We're going to be using cross products to solve proportional equations. Now we are moving on to lesson 7. Remember you do have a quiz next week on Tuesday and Thursday. That quiz next week does not include questions like what we're going to see here in lesson 7. You do have to learn this. It will be on your test, but your quiz goes up to lesson 6. So this lesson 7 will actually practice the skills that we used in lessons 1 through 6. So it sure is a good thing to still do. We're just not going to have these proportional equations on our quiz. Anyway, there's a do now for you to do. There are 3 questions, and I do need you to copy down this definition in the top margin of lesson 7. So on the very top, I need you to write down what a proportion is. A proportion is an equation that shows 2 fractions are equivalent. In a proportion, the cross products are always equal. So along the top of your paper, please, like above your objective. I'm also going to show you, and you can always hit pause, guys, if I ever go too fast, of course. I'm also going to show you that today we're going over the do now. You should be writing down the definition of a proportion. I'm going to do some numbers with you, only numbers 1 and 6, and then you're going to work on the rest on your own, and you can compare your answers to mine. And honestly, I'm going to put a second video up after this, and I'm going to call it the homework video. I'm going to get you started on your homework in case you're having a hard time. And guess what? No checks today. Woohoo! All right, so hit pause, go do the do now, and then turn it back on and see how well you did. So on number 1, maybe you decided to just multiply both sides by 5 because the opposite of dividing is multiplying, and you get x is 20. Maybe on number 2, you multiplied both sides by 3, and you had 2x equals 18, and then you divided both sides by 2, so that x is 9. Notice how I keep on saying maybe. There really are other ways of solving it. And then number 3, I would have solved like what you used to do in 6th grade. Do you remember you used to do these cross products? Some people call it the butterfly method. That's not like a real math word. Okay, it's what we wrote down on the top of our page about a proportion, that the cross products are always equal. So these are cross products. 4 times 6 is 24, and x times 5 is 5x. And then we could divide both sides by 5, and we get a fraction for our answer. Remember, you're allowed to write that as your answer. 24 over 5 is an acceptable answer. You could change it to a mixed number if you want, but it's not necessary. If I change this to a mixed number, it would be 4 and 4/5. If I changed it to a decimal, it would be 4.8. But really, I like keeping my answer as an improper fraction. So I said I would do number 1 and 6 with you. You can see that these are all proportions, right? It's just that there's some algebra in the proportions. So it's not as easy as what you did in 6th grade. It is an 8th grade level proportion. So we still do these cross products just like what we did in the do now. So when I circle these now, I can say out loud I have to do 5x plus 2 times 7. I want to write the 5x plus 2 in parentheses to times it by 7. So something that students like to do sometimes is when they see algebra in their proportion, they just go put parentheses around it right away to make them remember that parentheses really are necessary. And that equals the other cross product. So the 3x minus 1 goes in parentheses, and we have to times it by 5. So now this equation right here is just like an equation that we saw in lesson like 6. So that's why I said this lesson is really very good practice for your quiz. You're just not going to see this question on the quiz, but you will see a question like that. So if we distribute, you get 35x plus 14 equals, we'll distribute again, 15x minus 5. So there's two things on the left, two things on the right. Nothing can be combined, so now I have to start doing like my opposites. Remember, they're called inverse operations. And I like to do my variables first, and I like to start on the right side. I'm going to subtract 15x from both sides so I can cross this off. I have 20x plus 14 equals negative 5. Now I'll subtract 14 from both sides. So 20x equals negative 19. I'm going to get another fraction for an answer here. I'm going to divide both sides by 20. And x equals, right here is your answer, negative 19 over 20. I also said I wanted to do 6 with you. Sorry, my pen wasn't working. So I could put parentheses here and do these cross products. I have to do 8 times y minus 2. On the other side, you can put parentheses here. You don't really have to, since there's not a plus or minus sign. I guess we'll put parentheses there, though, so it's 3 times 2y. Now, something I have to point out, and it's the reason why I chose this question, is that there's only distributing on this side. Distributing always happens over addition or subtraction. So you need a plus or minus sign inside your parentheses if you're going to call it the distributive property. So 8 gets multiplied by the y, which is an 8y, and 8 gets multiplied by the negative 2, which is minus 16. But over here, it's not the distributive property. There's like only one thing here to multiply. So it's actually just multiplication. I can't draw 2 lines, right? These lines, there were 2 of them over here, because it went to the thing in front of the minus sign and to the thing after the minus sign. There's no minus sign here. There's no plus sign here. I'm just doing 3 times 2y, which is 6y. Now, the thing that I should do next is subtract an 8y from both sides. So I started over on the left side because there were 2 things on the left and only 1 thing on the right. I like to keep something on both sides. 6y minus 8y is negative 2y. And then we divide by negative 2. And where's my pen again? Y equals 8. Again, you don't have to do checks in this lesson. We're just going to work on these proportions that have algebra in it and solve the equation. And the directions in the lesson said that you're going to now work on the rest of the classwork. You'll check your answers with mine. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 questions to do. And I'll be posting the answers. And then your homework is here. And you have 6 questions to do. So good luck. Check your classwork answers, use them as model problems, and oh, remember, don't forget, watch homework video. I'm going to post it as a second video. It's going to do, or at least start you off with some of your homework problems. So I'll talk to you soon. See ya. Bye.